ability of the Syaikh Anwar, and the lecture will be translated by translator team in the chat, so that's okay regarding the language barrier maybe in Indonesia. And the last 15 minutes question and answer session, but this is up to the Sheikh, the availability of the time. So today, again, we have a special guest, Dr. Muhammad Anwar Sahib Al-Madani. I believe all the students in IOU already know him very well, because this is one of our favorite teacher, our beloved Ustad. He's the teacher of the fiqh in BA and MA Islamic Studies. Beside that, he is a dean in Islamic Studies Faculty di Indonesia, dekan ya, dekan Fakultas Islamic Studies in IOU. And apart from the role in Islamic International Open University, he's the Imam and Chairman of At-Taqwa Mosque in New Zealand, in Auckland City. So he's also President of Federation of Muslim Scholars in New Zealand. And he completed his study in Madinah Islamic University from bachelor to doctoral degree. So hadirin hadirat rahimakumullah, please welcome Syaikh Anwar Sahib. Tafadhal mashkuran, Syaikh, hayakallah.
A'udzu billahi minasy syaithanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Innal hamdalillah wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah wa ba'd. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah wa ba'd. Allahumma rabbana zidna ilma, Allahumma rabbana zidna ilma wa amalan salihan, Allahumma rizqna amalan salihan, Allahumma rizqna husnu ittiba'i khutuwati nabiyyika sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allahumma ja'alna mimman yuhibbunak, Allahumma ja'alna mimman tarda anhum ya rabbal alamin. اللهم وفقنا في هذا الاجتماع المبارك للذي فيه رضاك يا أرحم الراحمين. My beloved brothers and sisters out there, from the deepest of my heart, though it is only one, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. First of all, you people can hear me, right?
Yes, we can hear you.
That's good. Otherwise, I would be shouting more, because the distance from here to Indonesia is quite a bit. So maybe. Anyway,
very clear, sir. Very clear.
Listen, it's 9:30 p.m. here, and our Isha finishes at 8 o'clock. So starting it at 9 was perfect for me. It only so happened that there was a special function at a nearby masjid about 10 kilometers away. And the Sheikh there had insisted my presence. I thought that everything will go and everything will be okay and Baba and, and I come back in time. So when I went there, the brother who was controlling the traffic, he said everything is okay. It is going to finish very quickly. And I said, okay. So I moved my car in front, and guess what? I got blocked. I had no way to come out, but still, alhamdulillah, I could have started this while driving, but I thought it might not be suitable. So here I am inside my office, which I have in the masjid. Barakallah fikum. So I'm Muhammad Anwar Sahib, Fijian originally, from Fiji Islands, and here I am in New Zealand. Barakallah fikum. The brother has already presented about me. He has said that who I am. I guess I did study in Medina for 19 years. I did my language course there. I did my high school there. I did my BA. I did my master's and PhD. Everything from there, alhamdulillah. And I had lots of colleagues and friends out there from Indonesia, and who are Mashaykh, famous scholars there, like Sheikh Mushfiq, Sheikh Marullah, Sheikh Ali Fikri, and of course, Muhammad Hidayah, who is the famous one, a politician also at the same time. Barakallah fikum. You already know that I am deeply involved with IOU. Now, there are certain brothers and sisters who have insisted that I teach this topic. And this topic is something which is extremely sensitive, big and massive and wide. Even what we have said today, brothers, you have presented that I will talk about, probably we may not be able to take it all or even just a little bit of it. And then we really start big time from next one. Now, to make things look more serious, mashallah, you people have been waiting for my arrival. That's a good sign that you people are serious. Also, among those things which needs to be taken on board is that you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ya Allah, give me knowledge with ikhlas. Ya Allah, give me barakah in whatever I get. Ya Allah, make me among those who practice what they learn and so forth. You are on the right track in a time when people are running after this dunya. Ay wallah, I swear by Allah. And but yet you people want to study what is Islam. Yes, we are going to learn about al-muamalah, trade and transaction. Very interesting, extremely sensitive, very difficult, lots of so-called gray areas. The reason is because there are so many new trades and transactions, and it's a new system. So for you to know whether it is applicable or not, we will need to understand a few things. Today, I will just give general ideas. But before that, I know that many of you want to be businessmen and women, and you may be. A few of you have been asking me questions related to online trades, which is the trend of the time, like Alibaba, you know, and then we have got so many other online stuffs. I don't know what the Indonesian ones are. Here in New Zealand, we have got TradeMe, and that's a local one. And then all these online things which happens all over the world, we know. So it's the trend. We need to understand that. I will not answer about those things today intentionally. The reason is I want you people to go back and feel the importance of the knowledge which is going to be given to you. Barakallahu fikum, right? Now, as I said, I love you all for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I may know some of you by name. Some of you brothers and sisters has corresponded with me, whereas others may be totally new, and some of you might not even know me. But all of you, for me, I love you for the sake of Allah. Wallahi inni uhibbukum fillah, and I pray that if not in this dunya, then in hereafter, at least we meet someday. Barakallahu fikum. Now, before I continue, I would like to share a few stories, or at least one or two. One of them, you will feel that it's totally irrelevant to the subject which we are taking. But let me tell you, once you know why I said it, you will understand it. A Bedouin, you know, those who are referred to as Bedouins, those who live in the desert in Saudi. So this thing happened in Saudi Arabia. Probably around 30 years ago. Now this man, this Bedouin, he had a very simple taste. He wasn't rich. All he wanted was to have a car, you know, the Toyota Hilux type of thing, which, you know, the van, possibly 5 seaters and open van at the back, simple Toyota Hilux. This is the famous one. I don't know in Indonesia if you have those or not. That's all he wanted. Barakallahu fikum wa uhibbukum fillah. Now, then this man, Allah blessed him with a camel. Now, the price of a camel in those days probably would be 2, 3, 4, 5,000 riyal. At present, it would be just around normal camels, just say maybe 10,000 riyals. Okay, say 15,000 for the sake of argument. So this camel, somebody was passing by, and this Badu, he wasn't an expert in the camels. He said, why don't you give me this camel for 15,000? At the time, similar to those could be sold for 1 to 3,000 maybe. And he said, Allahu yubarik li, Allah will give me barakah in it. So he didn't sell. And he had no idea that that is something very pricey. Because the Bedouins, those who are expert in camels, when the animal is born, they can see and understand and know that this is something very special. What was special about it? I have no idea, believe me. So some people came, they offered 30,000. The word must have been going around, right? This is buying and selling. Till one day a person came in, he offered 150,000 Saudi riyals. You know, in Indonesia, that could be millions and millions and millions. For that one camel, this man, he decided, okay, 15 ala barakatillah, he sold it for 150,000. He got that 150,000, he bought himself the car which he wanted, the van. He's taking his family the rides. He went and he had a gathering with his family and he started to give money to everyone, happily sharing what Allah has blessed him with. You know, he's a Bedouin and people were scarce of cash, alhamdulillah, and he shared. Now, him and his family, they are driving by and they pass by an auction. Auction is where you sell things by bidding. So we'll say 100 riyals, another one say 200 riyals, 1,000 riyals, go on. This is auction. Bay'ul Muzayada, it is called. So this Bedouin with his friend, they look at a camel. So his friend is saying, bro, that looks like your camel. He said, no. He said, no, it does look like, let's go and see. So they go there. You know what? They saw, really, that camel is his, which he's just sold. His friend got upset on him. He said, you know, didn't I tell you? I told you not to sell it. I told you, hang on to it. You could have made more money because you know how much it was being sold at that time? 350,000 riyals. That camel must have been something very special. So he said, you could have made that much money. That's more than double of what he got. Now is the punchline. You know, this Baddu, this Al-Mu'min Billah, what he said? This is, listen to it. He said, لو كان لي فيه ريال لما شراه مني. If I had even one more riyal in it for me as a haqq given to me by Allah, this man would not have bought it from me. Meaning that Allah has written for me in it 150,000 and that's what I got, khalas. So, you know, how many of us, we have this kind of iman? If you ask me, frankly, I think I will fail. You know, I will go sell a car to someone for 10,000 riyals and $10,000, and I find that next day he sold it in trade me for $20,000. I will get upset. Man, I should have done a better job. That's what I would say, right? SubhanAllah, and I'm pretty sure all of you would have done this, what I am saying. But look at the iman of this one. This is the punchline. This is what we should have. This is the strength of iman. This is al-imanu bil-qadr, al-imanu bil-qada wal-qadr, al-imanu bi-qadrillah, al-imanu, you know, and this is one of the pillars of iman. And if we have this type of iman, it will become very easy for us to live a life with no complications in it. Yes. So this I thought to be the punch line to which we start. Now, when starting Kitab al-Buyu', we cannot take everything. There are so many things we can take. It will all depend, right? I will try to make it interesting, but because the chapter itself is not easy, at times it will be difficult. The basic of tijara is halallahu al-bay'a wa harrama al-riba. Allah has made trade halal and Allah has made interest haram. Simple as that. And Allah gives barakah in tijara when it is halal. Right? Now, then when it comes to the tijara, we will talk about it a little bit, what it is, business. Under the trade and transaction, there are too many things. It's not only you have a shop and you sell things, you buy things and sell things. It's not that you just run on an online business where you are able to promote your products and sell it. It's not only that. It's far more than that. in trade and transaction. There are things related to the merchandise, things related to the seller, which could be you, or the buyer, which also could be you. And then things related to the product itself directly, things related to outside factors. Outside factors could be like, for example, when you have got some food and people are dying out of hunger because something happened. At this time, how will you sell your food? At that high-pitched price, because you are trying to benefit from the circumstances? These are the kind of things, outside factors. A very good example of that is what recently happened last Sunday and Monday, I think Monday or probably Sunday also, in South Africa, in Durban, where they started to loot everything. They broke the supermarkets, they killed people, they started to shoot, everything got closed down. There was no supply of food, water, electricity, milk, and people were crying, and subhanAllah. So at this time, if you have access to some of these groceries and things, wow, you could have made millions, right? But is that a way of making things? Now, this is what you call outside factors, okay? This is what you call outside factors. Just gave an example. By the way, what is in Durban in South Africa, I spoke to a few brothers in Johannesburg and I think in other places, in Cape Town, and we have to follow them up. May Allah make it easy on them. I think from what I know, maybe things are easing down there, but we need to remember them in prayers. Wallahu a'lamu bisawab. Now, again, so these are the kind of things. There are too many things which we can consider as part of al-bay'. And then there is the issue of whether you are buying, whether you are renting, whether you are selling it on cash, whether you are selling it on credit, whether it is something which you have already with you, or is it something which you don't have, which is a lot on the trade online. And then the regulations related to online, because online purchase is this and that, whether you are selling gold and silver, which has to be cash hand in hand, or is it something else? Whoa. So we have got thousands and thousands of rules to be followed. What I will focus on more, bi'idhnillah, is related to more towards the modern type of things, which is more of your need and more you want to learn about. Now, what the modern types of dealings which we are going to talk about, I will not answer those things if any question comes today. The reason is because we are going to learn those things. Whatever we are going to learn, I will try to avoid answering it today, so that we don't get mixed up and bundled up in it. Barakallahu fikum. Now, remember, tijara, business, is one of the very good ways of making money. But at the same time, the success of that and the failure in it is also a lot. So that's why not everybody ends up becoming a millionaire fi ashiyatin wa duhaha. If all of us were rich, imagine if all of us, each and every Banu Adam, they were rich. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives each one of us so much of money that we don't need to work, what is going to happen? أَلَا يَعْلَمُ مَنْ خَلَقَ وَهُوَ اللَّطِيفُ الْخَبِيرُ. The one who created, he knows about you. You know what will happen? If all of us we become filthy rich, who is going to be a doctor? Who is going to be a nurse? Who is going to be the teacher? Who is going to be the imam in the masjid? Who is going to clean the masjid? Who is going to cook? Where will the restaurants go? And who is going to drive your car for you? And who is going to fix your car? Who is going to make the cars? Nobody needs money, so nobody is going to make the cars because everybody has got money. I don't want to busy myself in making cars. I want to enjoy my life. Where are you going to enjoy your life? Tell me. You don't have transport because nobody is making it. You don't have boats because nobody wants to make it. You don't have any food because no farmers want to grow food because everybody is too rich. They don't want to work in the farm anymore. When you get sick, who is going to fix you up? Nobody wants to study medical science, so nobody is there to fix you up. You die. Aha, you get the point now, right? You can learn very fast, mashallah. Yes. What does it mean? It means that Allah has created us and Allah knows how to give us things so that someone is learning, someone is teaching, someone is working, somebody is a doctor, somebody is a nurse, somebody is a teacher, somebody is an imam, somebody is a cleaner, somebody cleans the road, somebody cleans the masjid, someone does it voluntarily and someone has to be paid for that. So we are able to manage to live and survive in this dunya. Everybody, no need to work, automatically enjoy the life only is in Jannah, not in this dunya. So which means, though we are going to learn Kitabul Buyur and whatever in it, inshallah, but it does not mean after learning, when you start to do the business, automatically you will become filthy rich, very rich. Why? Because you know Ahkam Sharia, you know you pray 5 times a day, you are a good believing Muslim or Muslimah, you are a student in IOU, you or somewhere else, and you are trying to please Allah and you don't commit any haram. So you think that you are going to deserve all these things. No. Keep that out of your mind, right? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was given the choice of one of the two. أن يكون ملكا رسولا وأن يكون عبدا رسولا فاختار الثاني أي أن يكون عبدا رسولا. He was given the choice of to be a king and a prophet or a slave of Allah and a prophet, meaning just being a normal person without those filthy amount of lots of money, or being a king. In both of the cases, he's still a prophet. He chose to be a normal person and a prophet. When he died, alayhi salatu salam, كانت درعه مرهونة لدى اليهودي. His shield, which he takes for the war, it was mortgaged with a Yahudi because he had taken food for his family. So he bought it from there, and as a guarantee, it was there till he is able to pay. And he died, alayhi salatu salam, like that. Subhanallah. So, but we need the money anyway, right? Yes, we need the money, and money makes a lot of differences for us. If we have money, we educate our children. If we have money, we have a house. If we have money, we have a peace of mind. If we have money, we can enjoy so many things. We can make masjid, we can make madrasa, we can sponsor poor people, we can take care of those who are not fortunate enough, and so forth. So from here, you people want to learn things related to at-tijara. Barakallahu fikum. Now I'm going to tell a few things of the rulings, a few things, and after that, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, I will open it for the questions. As we know that we started late, I will keep that in mind also. Jazakumullahu khairan. Now, amongst the basic rules of a sale, which is defined in Sharia, is that the exchange of a thing of value by another thing of value with mutual consent. So it could be a barter system. You have a car and someone has a farm. So you say, okay, you take my car, which is say $50,000, and your farm, this small farm which you has, the price is around 50,000. So I own the farm and you take the car from me and own it. So this is, exchange of something of value. Now then here, now most of the things, almost probably 95% or 99% of the things are all based on cash. If not cash, then it's still in the bank, on credit. Everything has to do with this paper money now, which you do understand. Now, the value of each currency differs from the other. That's another topic anyway. Because it is something so important, Islamic jurisprudence has laid down enormous rules governing the contract of sale between the two. And also the Muslim jurists have written a large number of books in a number of volumes to elaborate them in detail. Some of those things which are like where you buy something and sell something on a contract, like a murabaha kind of thing, I'm going to mention about those only. We have got so many other things, right? Bay al-ina and all those things, haram ones and halal things also. We will take some of those things later on, inshallah. Barakallah fikum. After I finish, send the suggestions through those brothers who are running this course. So you send your suggestions that these are the kind of topics which we want to learn. And these brothers are going to forward it to me. So when I teach, I will know that these are the topics I have to cover. This way it will become easier, more beneficial to you people at the same time. And also for me, it becomes easier to know what are you people's needs. Jazakumullah khairan. So rule number one, the subject of sale must be existing at the time of sale. This is one of the things of the sale which brings the major problem, you know, when at times related to online sale. So what we can do there and what we can't, that's we will discuss later anyway. Thus, a thing which has not yet come into existence cannot be sold. If a non-existent thing has been sold, though by mutual consent, the sale is void according to Sharia. We need elaboration here also, which we will discuss later on down the road, inshallah. Examples commonly given is like when a person sells an unborn calf of his cow to someone. This sale is void, meaning that not valid because there is no calf there yet to be sold. And we have no guarantee whether that calf will come out or not. We don't know. Another rule is that the subject of sale must be in the ownership of the seller at the time of sale. This is another issue which we have on online sales, right? Not in every one of them, but in some of them, or most of it maybe. Thus, what is not owned by the seller cannot be sold. If he sells something before acquiring its ownership, the sale is void, meaning not valid. This is a huge problem. We need to discuss it. For example, A sells a car to B, right? But this car is not owned by the seller, A. In fact, at present, it is under the ownership of C. But why is Mr. A selling it to B? He is hopeful that he will be able to buy it from C and then deliver it to B, right? Subsequently, this sale also has got issues and is void because he is not owning the car at present. And here a lot of issues may occur also with car dealers, you see, whether they have owned the car or not. That's a big problem. At times also real estates and businesses which runs like that, whether they are owning it or not, can become an issue. Rule number 3, that the subject of sale must be in the physical or constructive possession of the seller when he sells it to another person. And here we see that not only it's not present, not that you don't own, also it has to be with you or in a way where you hold it, even though it may not be at your home or not in your storage, but somewhere you have control in things. So that can be a problem. Constructive possession means a situation where the possessor has not taken the physical delivery of the commodity, yet the commodity has come into his control, and all the rights and liabilities of the commodity are passed on to him, including the risk of its destruction. Now, as you see that sometimes this kind of issues can happen on online sale, where you sell something and you are paid the money, and the buyer is waiting for the product, and now you are supposed to get it delivered, which you had some form of understanding from the manufacturer, from the factory, and then issues can happen in between, isn't it? So when we say of a constructive possession, meaning it's not that you physically have it, either it's physically or you have the full control of it. Now it's legally yours, and everything, liabilities and so forth belongs to you. So example, A has purchased a car from B. B has not yet delivered it to A or to his agent, either to him or to his wakil. So the car is still with B. Now A cannot sell the car to C because he has not received it. He has to wait for the delivery to take place or his agent to receive it on his behalf. Another example is A has purchased a car from B. B, after identifying the car, has placed it in a garage to which A has free access. And B has allowed him to take the delivery from that place whenever he wishes. Thus, the risk of the car has passed on to A. The car is in the constructive possession of A. If A sells the car to C without acquiring physical possession, the sale is valid. Now, this is like this. The first one I said, A buys it from B, and yet the B still has it. That's invalid. In this case, A buys it from B. B has taken the car and put it in a place or whatever with the complete authority being given to A. Full access whenever he wants, whatever he wants to do with it. Everything is delivered to him, even though it may not be in his house or in his garage at present. In this case, he can sell it to do whatever he wants with it. So the gist of the rules mentioned in paragraphs 1 to 3 is that the person cannot sell the commodity unless it has come into existence, it is owned by the seller, it is in the physical or constructive possession of the seller. So meaning that three things important here. One, that thing is mawjood. Wujudu, it is existing. We can, it's not just something which will happen later on. And then the buyer, the seller already owns it. He's the legal owner. Thirdly, existence, being the legal owner, and now even possessing it, either by delivered to him or in a place where he has the authority of. So these are the three things, very important. Also, something we need to understand that there is a big difference between an actual sale and a mere promise to sell. The actual sale cannot be affected unless the above three conditions are fulfilled. Those three, right? Possession, being there, possessed, or constructive, physical or constructive possession of it, right? The actual sale cannot be affected unless the above three conditions are fulfilled. However, one can promise to sell something which is not yet owned or possessed by him. He makes a promise that, if I have this, I can sell it to you. This promise initially creates only a moral obligation on the promiser to fulfill his promise, which is normally not justifiable. Nevertheless, in certain situations, especially where such promise has burdened the promise with some liability, it can be enforceable through the courts of law. In such cases, the court may force the promiser to fulfill his promise, that is to effect the sale, and if he fails to do so, the court may order him to pay the promise the actual damages he has incurred due to the default of the promiser. Now, this can be in things which are major things, big things, where lots of money are involved. where through the certain amount of promise of delivery, the other person has taken certain steps in order to acquire where money may have been spent and so forth. And if the promiser defaults it for no reason, this is where the court steps in, where the promiser may end up, will be forced either to produce that, sell it, or has to pay the damages which may incur due to that promise of his. Of course, naturally, the actual sale have to be effected after the commodity comes into the possession of the seller. That's only natural. So this will require separate offer and acceptance. And unless the sale is effected in this manner, the legal consequences of the sale shall not follow. So the first is, of course, the first one, we have already taken all those. And then here, with that is the real sale. Somebody's speaker is on, please. Yes, okay, that's good. Now, remember, for example, a car or a house. A person says, "Oh, bro, you wanted that kind of house. You know, I know a brother, I know a person or who can build you this type of house." So, because on that promise and everything dealt with and whatever, then you start to spend money doing the whatever and paying him for whatever he has said, and then in the end he says, "No, it's not. We are not going to get it delivered. Whatever." This is where the complications starts and problems may happen. Now, hopefully, people are understanding what I mean. Now, the paragraphs of 1 to 3 are relaxed with respect to two types of sale, which is in Bay' Salam and Al-Istithna. The rules of these two types will be discussed later, inshallah. One more thing you have to know, that the sale must be instant and absolute. Does a sale attributed to a future date or a sale contingent on a future event is void? Meaning that it has to be now, not that, "Oh, I will sell you after this." No. If the parties wish to effect a valid sale, they will have to effect it afresh when the future date comes, or at the time when it actually happens. Like A sells to B on the 1st of January. I sell my car to you on the 1st of February. The sale is void, not valid, because it is attributed to a future date, which will mean that when that time comes, you have to strike the deal that time. So the sale will not be valid. A says to B, if party X wins the election, my car stands sold to you. This is also not valid because it is contingent on a future event. So anything related to a something futuristic will not be valid. It has to be then or when that time comes. If that thing happens, you can sell it with a contract. The subject of sale must be a property of value. Thus, the thing having no value according to the usage of trade cannot be sold or purchased. Meaning, Islamically, you don't go and just sell anything or buy anything which has no value to it. There has to be some relative type of value to it, as Islam is against wastage of anything, as you know. Thus, a thing having no value according to the usage of trade cannot be sold or purchased. Also among those things, just hold on. The subject of sale should not be a thing which is not used except for a haram purpose, like wine, pork, khinzir and things. You can't buy and sell those things. Also, the subject of sale must be specifically known and identified by the buyer, like this, which means that the subject of sale must be identified either by pointing to it or detailed specification of what it really is, not just any vague, this is what we are going to sell to you. Like there is a building comprising a number of apartments built in the same pattern. The owner of the building says to B, I sell one of these apartments to you. B accepts it. The sale is not valid unless an apartment intended to be sold is specifically identified or pointed out to the buyer. So if you have a big building in that there are 100 apartments and you strike a deal with someone and you say, I'm selling you one apartment, and he says, I bought it, kalas. And you come to a deal. And all those hundreds of apartments could be different, could be same, but they are in different floors and it has its own value and merit to it, or the other way around. So you don't identify any number, the sale is not valid. You have to identify, okay, I'm selling you number 70, for example. Fine. The delivery of the sold commodity to the buyer must be certain and should not depend on the contingency or chance. Like, I sell his car, stolen by some person not known, and the buyer purchases it under the hope that he will manage to take it back. It's not valid. Now I says, look, to be, my car is stolen. I don't know where it is, but I want to sell it for $1,000. Now the normal price of the car is 5,000. So that maybe you get it, maybe you don't get it. It's not valid. That sale is not valid. The certainty of price is a necessary condition for the validity of the sale. If the price is uncertain, the sale is void. So there has to be a price. It's not, I don't know what the price is, buy it and we will discuss it later. That can be an issue. Like A says to B, if you pay within a month the price of 50, but if you pay after 2 months the price is 55, he agrees. The price is uncertain and the sale is void. So from the two alternatives, you have to agree on one, either 50 or 55, and then proceed. It's okay to have 55, 60, 70, whatever. But all those options are there, multiple options been given, one has to be chosen. And from here you see when al-musharaka, not in musharaka, or al-bay' al-taqsid, where you are selling things and buying things, say for example a car, you have 3 options to that. Either you pay it all cash, or in 1 year or 2 years. Each one of them has a different price. When the buyer walks in, he has to agree on one of the 3. It's not that he can choose down the road any of those. No. So the first option is 10,000. 1 year payment is 15,000. In 2 years payment, it's 20,000. So if he chooses 20,000, he has to stick to that 20,000. This is very important. Okay, what about if he sticks to 20,000, paying in 2 years, and then after 1 year, Allah blesses him with a lot of wealth and he's able to pay? Does he have to wait till 2 years to finish his payment? No, if he has the amount he wants to pay, fine. Then can he demand and say, look, for 1 year it was 15,000 and now I'm able to pay in 1 year. We had agreed for 2 years and 20,000. Can I just pay 15? No, you can't. But if the seller says, look, because you are able to pay earlier, I'm going to give you a discount from his own self without demand, that would be different. We can discuss those things later on, inshallah. Also, the sale must be unconditional. A conditional sale is invalid unless the condition is recognized as a part of the transaction according to the usage of trade. Like A buys a car from B with a condition that B will employ his son in his firm. The sale is conditional, hence invalid, because his son has got nothing to do with the car. A buys a refrigerator from B with a condition that B undertakes it free service for 2 years. The condition being recognized as part of the transaction is valid and sale is lawful. So this is like servicing the car, giving the warranty, you know, for most of these things which we buy because it's part of the thing itself. Barakallahu fikum. And most of these things were discussed by Sheikh Muhammad Taqi Uthmani, Hafidahullah. And I thought to mention these things here for today. And there are so many things, as I said, which we can learn. And I encourage all of you, those who are here, to write the questions and send it to the coordinator so that the coordinator can pass it to me for the next session where I can answer it all. But here, if there is any clarifications or anything you need to know of what we have taken, please do let me know right now. Jazakumullah khairan. And thanks for being here and having patience.
Jazakumullah khairan kathiran for Syaikh Anwar Sahib, Hafizahullah ta'ala. Inshallah. Do you have time for question and answer, Syaikh?
Yes, we can give few minutes if it is related to the topic. Let us see what the questions are. If it is something which I'm going to take later on, then those I will not answer because then we want to answer it when the time actually comes. Yes.
Yes. Okay, for the attendees, please give your question only related to the what Sheikh explained to us just now regarding the general requirement or the basic of the trading, just like condition. So the Sheikh has explained about the subject of the bay trade, and also what kind of halal things should be done during the transaction. Okay, there is a question coming to me, Sheikh, regarding the trading the goods and the system or the membership. Do you know kind of multi-level marketing? So if someone
which marketing, sorry?
Multi-level marketing, MLM.
Okay.
So someone, if they want to sell something, they should become a member of some kind of community, which has to be paid in, I don't know, once or maybe in a period of time. So he can only enter to the system and start selling and trading something inside the community or outside the community. Normally, if it is trading inside the community, the price will be cheaper, and if selling to the outside, then more expensive. Maybe someone can explain more clearer.
I am not very clear with what you asked, but I think it means that you have to be a member to use certain sites to sell your products. Now, the sites when being built, like Alibaba and others, you have to pay a fee to get registered because they are providing a service to you. And that is their site which becomes famous. And if you go online to sell your products by yourself, you may have no coverage at all. You go and create a site for yourself and you put the products there. Nobody will be able to know you are selling things. But you go through Alibaba or any other like that, people like eBay and other people will scan on it and they will buy it because it's already famous. So because that's their trademark and they are providing their logo or their site for you to have access to and deal with, and that's why you are paying it, that should not be a problem, inshallah. If this is what the question is, then the answer is this.
Yeah, but as far as I know, the MLM is kind of the pyramid scheme. So if someone get the downliner, it will give some advantages to the upliner, something like that. So what you call it?
That if you can send me in a written, brother, or explain it to me what exactly it is, though, then I can answer it in the next one, because there is an issue with what you are saying, that each time somebody is buying and the others are making money out of it also, right?
Yeah, yes.
Multi-level marketing. There are a bit of issues with that and differences, and then there are more than one company which is doing this kind of things, right? There is a bit of issue in that, from what I recall. Multi-level, yes. Now I know what you are saying. So what is the question in this, brother?
Yeah, okay. Regarding multi-level marketing, is it halal or not? Something like that, I think.
That is the question, right?
Yes.
So
yes, Sheikh, can I help clarifying a bit?
Yes, please. Yes.
Yes. Suppose there are two prices. So first price is for public. For instance, if you buy a goods actually for public, and the other price is if you become a member of this multi-level marketing. So you have to be a member and you have to pay, for instance, like annual fee to be a member. But then you get a discounted price if you want to purchase the goods. So there are two prices applied, for one product. One is the price for the members, which is cheaper, but you have to pay annual fee. But the other is the price for public, which is more expensive. So is this kind of transaction allowed?
This may be a issue, from what I understand, that first one is very clear, right? Which I said, like, for example, you people know Alibaba, right?
Yes, of course.
We do.
It's kind of e-commerce.
So that's a company,
Amazon,
that's
Alibaba.
a website. Yes, so you may become a member there. I don't know how they operate. So from there, you sell your products, right? Because everybody will go to Alibaba to find your products, right? So you are paying certain amount of money because you are affiliated to them, and through that it becomes easier for you to sell your things. And for that you are paying money, and that one has got no issue. This is what I said, right? The multi-level one is where you end up paying money, not so that you can sell products there, but to buy, isn't it?
Yes, correct.
So here you are buying, and you have to pay a fee apart from your buying, because you are getting discounts.
Yes.
So this money which you paid goes to who?
To the seller. And it is because we want to be a member, then we have to pay the price, the fee.
From what I know, that scholars have hesitated to give an okay to this kind of sale, and they have their reservations and saying things which is not clear in it. So so I need one thing from you people related to this. I have studied this previously also, and I have seen it. So scholars have, they are not comfortable with it, right? That's the least I can say. What I can do, I will go and check the conditions related to multi-level. If you have any extra information, send it to me. I will check why you have to pay that. And when you pay that money, what are the promised services given to you, and who is going to receive the money which you are paying. All of these once I get it, and then I will be able to, inshallah, give you a better answer bi'idhnillahi ta'ala.
Okay, thank you,
sorry,
Sheikh.
I had a call coming. Yes, so that is what I can. Somebody has answered something in there. Somebody was saying something.
All right. Regarding the MLM, so Sheikh will be sent the system so Sheikh can explain it later regarding the condition and etc. The question regarding the Bay'us Salam and Istisna, I think
so
we
this
can
is one
skip.
action point for me. So no, still we are on MLM. So this is one action point from both sides. You people, if you can find something for me, and I will at the same time go and research it more so I can answer it better. But from what I know right now, that the scholars have differed and they have reservations and they have guided for precautions to be taken here and not to engage in it as far as I know. But as I said, scholars have differed. So let us do more research on this, and so we can understand it better and talk about it. Jazakallah khairan.
All right, thank you, sir.
Right.
So the question regarding the Bay'us Salam and Istisna, I think we can skip because Sheikh will be explained later. This is more specific.
Yes.
Somebody raise hand, please open your mic and directly ask to the Syaikh Anwar. Follow.
Assalamualaikum, Syaikh. I just want to try to explain a little bit more about the MLM, if you still would like to discuss about that one. So I think basically in MLM, the money that the member pay, it doesn't go to the seller for the merchandise, but it goes to the seller and the organization. Then it will go as a Ponzi scheme, where the more member that you get, the more money that you receive. That's the money goes to the top of the pyramid, and then the less money go to the bottom of the pyramid. So then it creates some unjustified situation where the top of the pyramid get more money compared to the bottom of the pyramid, and in order to get more money to be spread among the member, you need to get more member. So the money is more towards to give remuneration for the top member instead of buying the merchandise, because if you see the price of becoming the member, the amount of the money that you need to pay is a lot compared to the price of the merchandise itself.
So you have to pay a lot of money?
So yeah, first, if you want to become a member, I think there's a different amount of money that you have to pay depending of the MLM organization that you follow. But the amount of the money, with the amount of the money, you become a member, and you will have some merchandise along with it. But the price of the membership is a lot compared to the typical price of the merchandise, and that money goes to the member that help you become the members. The member get member, so that money going to the top of the pyramid.
Okay. Now I understand this scheme, and I think I had gone through this a long time ago. So Jazakallah khair for your clarification, and this is something I will elaborate more and give a more complete answer in the next session, inshallah. Right?
Jazakallah khair.
Barakallah fikum. Yes, brother. So that's all for today.
I think that's all for today, Sheikh. So,
MashaAllah,
Jazakallah khairan.
I consider that that this is a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for all of us to be here together, and let us help each other to learn more about Islam, and let us be among those who benefit from whatever Allah is given us, and let us be among those who have halal rizq and we spend it in a way which is halal also. وجزاكم الله خيرا وبارك الله فيكم. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك ونشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. جزاكم الله خيرا.
بارك الله فيكم. حياكم الله.
بارك الله فيكم. حياكم الله.
Amin ya.
Terima kasih kepada Syekh Muhammad Anwar Sahib yang telah memberikan lecture kepada kita pada sore hari ini, insya Allah. Dan general lecture berikutnya masih seputar Islamic economy atau muamalah, dan insya Allah please attend another session so you can give, you can get what Sheikh can deliver for the next material. So thank you very much for your time, Sheikh. So inshallah next time we can get to join live again. So
Allah barik fikum.
barakallahu fikum. So
Allah
we close with
Allah.
subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik,
No.
asyhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik, wa akhiru da'wana anil hamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.